Within the silent tombs, rest is assured not by walls, but by an ancient presence. This is the Eternal Vigil of Anubis, the barrier sworn to secure the promise of a peaceful security.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. We're the show that takes source material, really gets into it, and tries to find those connections that bring history to life.
And today, we're tackling a huge one, the ancient Egyptian afterlife.
It's a journey we all know bits of, but we want to go deeper today.
Exactly. We're moving past, the gold masks and the pyramids, fascinating as they are, and looking at the actual infrastructure of belief. How did they think it all worked?
Right, because the afterlife wasn't just like a place you ended up. It was this whole process, a journey, and it needed guides.
Divine guides, and that's our mission today, isn't it? To really unpack divine guidance, what it meant, who provided it.
Yeah, looking at the gods who are specifically tasked with, well, steering the soul, protecting it.
And we've got some amazing sources lined up, everything from the famous Anubis shrine and Tutankhamun's tomb.
Can't wait to talk about that one.
To the big funerary texts, pyramid texts, coffin texts, Book of the Dead, and even some really interesting finds from the Greco-Roman tombs at El Salamuni.
It's quite a range. We want to connect the physical artifacts, like the shrine, with the ideas in the texts and figure out what this Egyptian word SSSM, meaning guide or guidance, really encompassed.
And you can't talk about guidance in the Egyptian afterlife without starting with the most iconic guide of all.
Anubis, the jackal-headed god.
Okay.
He's sort of the poster child for this whole thing, isn't he?
He really is. So let's dive in with maybe the most tangible, most evocative piece of evidence. That Anubis shrine Carter found in KV 62, Tutankhamun's tomb.
1922, just imagine opening the treasury room and there he is, literally standing guard.
It's such a powerful image. And Carter noted its location was deliberate, found just behind the entrance to the treasury, and critically, it was facing west.
West, the direction of the afterlife, right? The land of the setting sun, the land of the dead.
Absolutely. Symbolism right from the start.
Carter called the shrine itself a pylon because of its shape, that sort of trapezoidal form like a temple gateway.
Yeah, and on top, this amazing black jackal statue, lying down but alert. And the materials, wood, plaster, gold leaf, and that black paint.
The black is interesting. Why black? Not like a natural jackal color.
That's a key insight. The black isn't about realism, it's symbolic. It represents two core ideas for the Egyptians. First, the rich, fertile black silt of the Nile flood, symbolizing rebirth, regeneration.
Oh, okay, like new life from the earth.
Exactly. And second, it represents the color of embalmed, preserved flesh. Anubis is fundamentally linked to mummification and regeneration.
Wow. And the details are stunning too. The gold leaf on the ears and collar, those inlaid eyes made of calcite and obsidian, even silver claws apparently. It looks watchful, eternal.
Designed to be vigilant. And that specific posture, the way the jackal is lying, that wasn't just artistic choice, it has a precise meaning.
Okay, what does it tell us?
It perfectly matches the hieroglyph used to write one of his key titles. GMBT, JMP, or just show.
Which is
Anubis over the mysteries, or Anubis, master of secrets. He's the watcher, the guardian of the sacred processes of death and rebirth.
Master of secrets. And didn't they find secrets inside the shrine itself? It wasn't empty.
No, not at all. Inside, Carter found various cult objects, amulets, even small mummiform figures and statuettes of Ra and Thoth. Some jewelry too, though it looked disturbed.
So the contents kind of reinforce his job description.
Precisely. It all points back to Anubis's original and really enduring primary role. God of mummification and embalming. His epithet, Jimi-Chor, literally means he who is in the place of embalming.
That makes so much sense. He's the one overseeing the physical preservation that allows the spiritual journey.
And the priests involved in that long, complex embalming process, it often took 70 days. They directly channeled his power.
I read somewhere they might have actually worn masks, like a jackal-headed mask.
They did. The sources suggest the chief embalmer, the one ritually playing the role of Anubis, would sometimes wear a jackal mask. It was about embodying the god's authority and protective power during that critical transformation.
So he's the ultimate protector of the body, ensuring it makes it through the process.
Yes, initially. But there's a historical shift here that's important.
Ah, right. Because he wasn't always second in command in the afterlife, was he?
No, not at all. Go back to the Old Kingdom, maybe around 2400 BC. Anubis was the main guy, chief god of the dead, ruler of the necropolis.
Top dog, essentially.
Pretty much. But things change. By the Middle Kingdom, say around 2000 BC, his role diminishes. relatively speaking.
Why? What happened?
It seems tied to the rise of the Osiris myth and what some call the democratization of the afterlife, the idea that resurrection wasn't just for kings anymore. Osiris, the god who was murdered and then resurrected, becomes the central figure, the ultimate ruler of the underworld.
Okay, so Osiris becomes the king of the afterlife. What does that leave for Anubis? Does he get demoted?
Not demoted exactly, more like
Uh-huh.
specialized. His role shifts from being the ruler to being the essential guide, the facilitator. He becomes the psychopomp.
Psychopomp, the guide of souls.
Right. He's the one who safely leads the soul, the Ba, into the underworld, the Duat, and crucially, guides it to the whole of two truths for judgment. He's the divine usher.
And that judgment, that's the big moment, isn't it? The weighing of the heart ceremony, the psychostasia.
This is where Anubis really shines in his later role. He's depicted as the calm, orderly technician at the scales. He's the one placing the deceased person's heart on one side.
And weighing it against the feather of Ma'at on the other. Ma'at being truth, order, justice.
Exactly. It's the ultimate test of your life's deeds. Was your heart light, free of sin, in balance with Ma'at, or was it heavy?
And if it was heavy, bad news.
Very bad news. The monstrous creature, Ammit part crocodile, lion, hippo, was waiting to devour the heavy heart. And that meant oblivion, total extinction for the soul. No afterlife.
Terrifying. So Anubis oversees this critical gateway moment. It's important, I think, for listeners to keep these roles clear. Anubis isn't the final judge, is he?
No, that's a common misconception. Anubis is the meticulous guardian, the embalmer, the one who ensures the process runs correctly, who manages the initial test at the scale.
Whereas Osiris, often shown with green skin.
Osiris is the king, the ruler of the Duat. He's the one the soul reports to after passing the weighing test. He's the ultimate judge and the god of resurrection itself.
And then there's Set. People sometimes confuse Anubis with darker figures, maybe because of the black color, the jackal head. But Set is the chaotic one, right?
Absolutely. Set represents chaos, violence, disorder. He's the one who murdered Osiris. But he's not like a Western concept of Satan or pure evil. He's a necessary, albeit dangerous, force.
And Anubis actually opposed Set's chaos.
Directly. According to myth, Anubis helped Isis embalm Osiris's body after Set dismembered him, protecting it, enabling his resurrection. So Anubis is fundamentally about order, structure, preservation, the opposite of Set's disruption. He's reliable.
That reliability really comes through in the idea of guidance, SSSM. You mentioned the funerary texts. They're basically guidebooks, aren't they?
They really are. The Egyptians didn't leave anything to chance. The coffin texts, for example, include actual netherworld guides.
Like maps.
Yeah, like the famous Book of Two Ways, which is considered the earliest detailed map of the afterlife, showing routes through the Duat, warning of dangers. It's like spiritual GPS.
Amazing. And the pyramid texts, even older, they talk about guidance very directly, too.
They do. There are passages where it says the great god takes the deceased person's arm, leading them, guiding them into the sky's double shrine. It's a very physical, hands-on kind of guidance.
And it wasn't just Anubis doing the guiding, right? It was a team effort.
Definitely. Mara herself, the goddess of truth whose feather is on the scale, is often shown guiding the deceased, especially men, into the judgment hall, ensuring integrity, you might say.
And Thoth, the ibis-headed god of wisdom.
Thoth is always there, meticulously recording the result of the weighing. He's the scribe, ensuring accuracy and justice. He's a kind of spiritual inspiration for the whole process.
So it's this complex, well-staffed system. But like all things in Egypt, it evolved, didn't it? Particularly when we get to the Greco-Roman period.
Things get blended. If we shift focus now to those tombs down in El Salamuni near Akhmim,
What do we see there?
we see this characteristic fusion of traditional Egyptian beliefs and newer Hellenistic artistic styles. Anubis is still there, often with Ma'at or Hathor or Amentet, leading the dead towards Osiris in the judgment scene. The core structure remains.
But there are some new, slightly stranger elements creeping in.
Yes. One really unique thing appears in a tomb designated C3. We see Anubis and a goddess leading the deceased, as expected,
Okay.
but they're also leading this mysterious black silhouette figure.
Like a silhouette, like a shadow person. What's that about?
It's debated. The sources aren't explicit, so scholars have different interpretations. This silhouette seems to be ambivalent. Sometimes it might represent the deceased having achieved a blessed state, sort of their perfected spiritual form.
Okay, like an alter ego.
Maybe. But other times, based on context, it might represent something negative, a defeated enemy, or maybe even a kind of symbolic counterweight in the judgment, representing the sins the deceased has overcome. It's mysterious.
adds a layer of complexity for sure. Is that the only weird thing in these later tombs?
No, there's another fascinating figure who shows up. In some processions, right at the rear, usually where offerings are being made to Osiris or Sokar Osiris, we see an anonymous human deity holding the deceased's hand.
A human deity, not one of the traditional gods.
Apparently not. The scholarly consensus is that this figure represents a local, deified human hero named Heriodes, or Haruja in Egyptian. His cult was really popular in the Achaemenid region.
A local saint, almost.
Sort of, yeah. He became so significant he was even syncretized, blended with Greek gods like Hermes, who was also a psychopomp and Apollo.
Okay, so Heriodes is helping the deceased. But how does his role compare to Anubis's? Is he also leading them to judgment?
That's the crucial point. No, the evidence is clear. Heriodes is only shown leading the deceased in the context of these funerary processions, the ceremonies involving offerings. He acts as a helper, maybe an intercessor, getting them set up for glorification before Osiris.
But not taking them into the actual Hall of Judgment.
Correct, that intense, critical moment. That still seems to be the exclusive job of the big leagues at Anubis, maybe marked. Heriodes is more like backstage support, ensuring the deceased gets their divine status confirmed before the final test.
So, a specialist guide for a specific part of the process. It shows how layered and adaptive the system was.
Exactly. Different guides for different stages.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together. We started with the word SSM, guidance. From the Anubis shrine watching over the treasury, to the maps and the coffin texts, to these later figures like Heriodes. What's the big takeaway about divine guidance for the ancient Egyptians?
I think the core idea is that SSM guidance was absolutely fundamental. It wasn't just about the afterlife. It was rooted in Ma'at, in living an orderly, ethical life, which then guaranteed you could navigate the afterlife successfully. Guidance was the pathway to resurrection.
And Anubis, that black jackal, remains the enduring symbol of that guardianship, doesn't he?
He really does. That image of vigilance, of mastery over the secrets, ensuring the deceased gets through the process correctly, that solidifies him as the divine guide ensuring passage to paradise. From the grand tomb shrines down to tiny protective amulets, he's there.
It's powerful, not just a destination, but a guided journey managed by these specialized divine figures.
And maybe one final thought to leave people with. This need for guidance wasn't purely about the afterlife. It seems to have permeated everyday life too.
How so?
Well, we have sources like personal letters. There's one from a man, Ramos, writing to his sister, and to reassure her he's okay, he says something like, "See, I am all right. Guidance has been given to me."
Guidance has been given to me. Not just I'm fine, but attributing his well-being to divine direction.
Exactly. It suggests they saw divine guidance as active in their actual physical journeys in their health, in just getting through the day safely. It wasn't only about the final journey west.
That really reframes it. The idea of a guiding hand wasn't just for death, it was for life.
It seems so. This reliance on a deity to literally guide your path, provide structure and safety, it feels like a continuous thread, connecting their worldview across life and death, and maybe even connecting the ancient world to concepts of guidance that persist today. The journey needed a guide, always.
Wow, that is a profound thought to end on. That the guide, the act of being guided, was perhaps even more central than the destination itself. Thank you, this has been absolutely fascinating.
My pleasure. It's an incredible system to explore.